Good morning, guys. So, coming to you in raw form. Let me tell you, I have been just so sick. Literally, the first week I was sick, it was just headaches, just these excruciating headaches. And then Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, I end up getting like this sinus stuff and just horrible. I've been to the doctor 3 times in less than a week. And everyone keeps telling me that I have sinus infection. And so, yeah. And I think I've had some migraines, which the last doctor I went to on Saturday, told me that it was a sinus infection, but it seems like I was having migraines that was caused by the sinus infection that I had. And I've had a sinus infection before that was a lot worse than this and didn't have the effects. So I'm taking more antibiotics and also doing some medicine for the headaches, which makes me really sleepy. So I'm only taking it at nighttime. It says take it twice a day. So throughout the day, yesterday I suffered. Yesterday morning, we ended up having to call the ambulance for my mom. She had a hard time getting out of bed, and her left side was weaker than normal. So she wasn't able to walk. I don't know why. We got to the hospital, her CAT scan and everything didn't show any significant changes from before. She did have a high fever, but she doesn't have like cough and colds or anything like that. So I'm not really sure where the fever is coming from. So they end up keeping her like overnight. So today is December 31st, and this is the exact day last year that my mom had her stroke, pretty much about the same time. And of course, it's Amber's birthday. Amber turned 18 last year, and Amber wasn't really able to do anything with the family because we were at the hospital with my mom because she had a stroke. But we have an awesome friend who's Amber's teacher, Miss Stacy, who came and got Amber from the hospital and picked her up, made a cake and everything for her so she can do something for her 18th birthday. So today, again, my mom is in the hospital on Amber's 19th birthday, and we were all going to go out to eat later on this afternoon. And, because Amber likes to go to TGI Fridays, it's like her all time awesome place to eat. So we'll do that probably for lunch today. I'm not going to the hospital until after I do something with Amber because I don't want to take away from her birthday. And and it's just like her day, and she's been so looking forward to turning 19. Can you believe it? My daughter is 19 years old. But anyway, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna eat lunch at Fridays, and she wanted her Let It Shine movie, which I didn't know anything about this movie, but they kept selling out. I waited at Target on Thursday until it had just came in off their truck, and I waited in Target for like an hour until they found it, unboxed it, and they bought it to me out of the box. Like, I've been dying to get that movie. That's all she's wanted. And I was just telling a friend this morning that I'm like so thankful that I have the child that I have. And, even with her medical issues and, her disability, it's just the simple things in life that she looks forward to. I mean, she's not the typical 19-year-old that wants to stay out late, that wants to go party, that I can't keep up with. I mean, she has a cell phone, but her cell phone is more or less, I mean, she likes to text or, call or for people to call her, but it's not like she's on the phone 24/7. Like, she knows when she goes to bed at nighttime, turn the phone off. I mean, it's just for her to have, just, and she's had her cell phone since I think I got her cell phone when she was like 12 years old, and it was just for me because I wanted her to feel like she was part of her peers, and so, but she's not the typical. 19-year-old that wants to do all of this crazy stuff. And there's times that I've missed out on those crazy, typical things that most teenagers do. But I am thankful that she's here. I mean, 19 years old, and when she was born, I mean, she was only a couple of months old, and had this pediatrician who we never saw again, that told us, me and her father, that she would not live past a certain age. She would never walk. She would never talk, and it was best that maybe we got a family member to take care of her, because I was a young mother, and surely I wanted to live my life and go to college, and and have a life. And if I took care of this child, I wasn't going to be able to do that. So, of course, that was like very, devastating to hear something like that about your child. But, with God's grace and His strength, and being able to put her in an environment to get different types of intervention, and just be fostered for her different activities that she's interested in, and just, push her to her potential. I have the most beautiful daughter. So, there's things that we may not be able to experience, like, getting a car for your 18th or 19th birthday, or when you graduate from high school. But every day waking up is the greatest blessing, because she has just so outdid the odds. She's had two open heart surgeries. Um, the first one she did fine with, but the second one, we were told that she was not going to survive that surgery. And I just remember, when I would go into like the ICU unit to like visit her and just see her connected to all these tubes and things that was keeping her alive, you know, it was upsetting, but at the same time, all I wanted for God to do was just to have her at peace. I didn't want her to suffer, and if having her, connected and on the different type of medication was going to keep her from suffering, I was okay. Now I didn't know how I was going to function after that, but and here we are. That was when she was at the age of 3 years old, 16 years later, and she's here. And the strangest thing about it is that Amber remembers the surgery, and when after she came out of her coma, she was so afraid of water, and we were told by a psychologist or that, you know, while she was under, it was probably like her being in water, like the swooshing sound. It was just, but she was so afraid of water. But, here we are today at the age of 19. Today, she is 19 years old, and I am just elated. And she's my motivation. And I hate the fact that her father is not part of her life, to see her blossom and to see her at her potential, and to be a motivation in his life, because everything that I do before before Madison became a part of my life, or before I had any other children a part of my life, because I'm a foster parent, and so I've provided a home for many children. But for my child, my biological child, Amber was my force. She was my force of nature to be something better, to do better, um, to give her better. Because if I cannot do that for her, no one else will. And even at the time that I may not be here to take care of her, I want her to be taken care of. And everything that I do has a purpose. And I always think, how is this going to affect Amber? If I decide to move away, how is this going to affect Amber? And, like my school, how does that affect her? Everything is how it affects her. Friendships that I have, how does it affect her? Does she like these friends? And I've had a couple of relationships, and the one thing I always come back to is, how does it affect her? And and luckily been relationships that Amber has been so fond of, and that she felt a part of. She felt a part that she's part of her life, so it helped her. And I think sometimes as parents we get past our children, and we start to become selfish. And I am selfish. Don't get me wrong. I am selfish in some of my ways. But just going out and just doing things spontaneity, without thinking of the consequences. I don't do that. But I've had times, I may go to the mall or buy some makeup and not really, but not stuff like that, but things that are like life changing. You know, how is this going to affect her? And I thank God every day for the career that He's put in my path for me to have because it centers around disabilities, and I'm able to have Amber to be a part of my career, and she's on that path with me, and I think it's because of her that I am where I am today. Um, I like to think, beyond her, I am my individual person, but she does define who I am. And my children define who I am. So not just Amber, but this video is specifically for Amber because it's her 19th birthday. But she has defined who I have become. And I have to say thank you to my daughter because, if it wasn't for her, I don't think I would have pushed myself to the limits that I have. I mean, when I say I have pushed myself to the limits, oh my God, I have pushed myself to the limits. Like sometimes I'm like, I sit back and I'm like, oh my God, are we here? Did I do that? In college, I made better grades than I did in high school. And I did pretty good in high school. I was, I was an A and B student, but in college, if I got a B, I was just like so upset, and I'm like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to be able to get into this program if I have this grade and I want to be able to get this particular job. And yeah, so Amber is definitely my motivation, and I'm so happy that today she turns 19 and to just rejoice. And I'm sorry that I'm not looking the part, but I got up this morning and I said, I'm just going to just make this video raw and get it out the way. And I'll come back later on tonight and do another video. Hopefully these headaches that I've had stay away today so I can enjoy the day with her and be able to kind of get cute, for you guys, because the last couple of videos I've made, I have not looked the part at all. But I really just wanted to come and just, show you guys how amazingly happy I am to have such a beautiful daughter. And again, I hate that her father is not part of this. And I know today, and he has to think about her because I used to say all the time, no matter how horrible the year was, it always ends on such a great note, which is her birthday, December 31st. And she was born at 6:58 p.m. So we were just a few hours from having a New Year's baby. But no matter how hard this year has been for me and caring for my mother, today it ends with being able to celebrate her life. And I'm not a big on like celebrating birthdays. Our family is not big on that. But just because of what I've been through with my daughter, it makes me embrace her day. It makes me want to say, hey, Amber, today is your birthday. Today, what do you want to do? You want to eat, whatever. But no matter how bad the year has been, it ends with being able to see her and to be able to see her survive when the odds were against her. And so on this day, I hope that he is thinking about what I always used to say. And no matter how hard or how bitter he may be, or how sick or how unhappy he may be, I don't know. I don't know his circumstances. But if he's had a hard year, in which we've had everybody's had hard times this year. Nobody's had a year that they've just been prosperous. I don't care how much money they make or whatever, but they've been unhappy at some point. So regardless of what he's been through this year, hopefully he's saying, my daughter has made another year. She's 19. She wasn't supposed to be here, and here she is. So regardless of all the all the stuff that we go through as parents, we have to look beyond who we are and say, this is what I want for my child. This is what I want for her future. This is what I want for their future. And, so today I come to you guys and say I am extremely happy to have my daughter and this little boogaboo in my life. Because it's been amazing, and I can't wait to share many more years with my daughter and Amber be a big sister to this little one right here. So I will see you guys later on the next video.